Three different types of decision makers. If you speak with anyone about decisions, it's likely you'll get an eye roll. When I was young, I could not wait to grow up so I can finally make more decisions in my life. In my childhood, it seemed like so many decisions were made for me. Decisions of where we would go, what we would eat, what we would do on Saturdays, which was mostly pulling weeds, by the way. One of the most appealing things about adulthood is that you can make all of your decisions, how you spend your time, where you work, what you eat. In my case, a few brownies today, who we hang out with, and much more. It's so exciting to think about how much we have control over in our own lives, although there's some that we don't have control over, but for the most part, we do. Sometimes decision making is really fun, and sometimes it can be really hard. A researcher named Adrian Camilleri has listed out some common decisions that are very difficult to make, the big ones in life. These include starting a new position or new job, getting married or not to get married, getting a college degree or not, having a child or adopting one or not, buying a home or not, quitting a job or not, or moving to a new state. Many people struggle with feeling just stuck over decisions. And even the idea that they're confused about the decision can be stressful and cause them to feel even more negativity about their inability to decide. Turns out that when experiencing fear, your brain actually limits blood flow to your prefrontal cortex, which is where a lot of decision-making capabilities originate in your brain. It's the part of your brain that's responsible for evaluating alternatives. Decision-making is the process of evaluating different alternatives so that you can identify the right path forward for yourself. It's a highly customized process, and each person might choose differently when selecting what is right for them among alternatives. So today I wanted to talk to you about the three different types of decision makers. The first one is an inactive decision maker. Inactive decision makers leave the decisions to fate, to circumstance, and whatever the course of time, whatever happens during the course of time. It's essentially whatever emerges. The person will wait until one of the situation plays out, and being an inactive decision maker can make you feel like you don't have control. It can mean that you lack confidence in making decisions, or that you don't believe that you have control over certain areas of your life. Reactive decision makers is our second type of decision maker, and these people wait for the opinions of others to emerge to help them make decisions. They might talk to a lot of people, tell them about their situation and say, what should I do? They might wait for somebody else to say, here's what you should do, or wait for somebody else to choose before they make a choice. It's very responsive based on the needs of others. And this can mean that they are highly influenced by others, or that they question their own decision-making capabilities. While it's good to receive input from other people, leaving your own personal decisions to others means that you're not exercising control and participating in the decision-making process. People who are reactive decision makers may not think they're capable of understanding what the best course of action is for their lives. Proactive decision makers, though, are the third type of decision maker, and these are people who take action and make decisions. You might use a couple of different methodologies to determine which one is the one that's most appropriate for you, but they take responsibility not only for making a decision, but also for the consequences and the results of the decision. Leaders oftentimes will make decisions based on the most that they know and the best decision at the time. They'll choose the best course of action based on the information that they have available. And as they learn more, as time evolves, they might need to adjust along the way, and they take responsibility for making those changes and adjustments as time goes on. But proactive decision makers take responsibility not only for making decisions, but for the consequences of those decisions, and adjust where needed. They get input from others and people that their decision impacts, but they realize that the decision regarding their lives are ones that they have to make. And they make decisions that are in line with their preferences, with their vision for their life, and give reflection to decisions that are important. The biggest decisions that we make are those that impact not only our lives, but the lives of those around us. Decisions about getting married, getting divorced, having a child, all affect loved ones in our lives. We're designed to be social. So for this reason, we can struggle with decisions because we want to do not only what's best for ourselves, but also what's best for other people. And it's these kinds of decisions, the personal ones that affect others, that require some time to think through. So when working to make a decision, it's helpful to know this ahead of time, to know what type of decision maker you naturally are, where you tend to be. When we're in school, there tends to be a right answer to a lot of the problems and the questions that we're asked and the decisions that we need to make when we're younger. But as we get older, there's usually several options that we can pursue, and there's not usually a perfect solution. Different decisions will result in different outcomes, and choosing one path will mean that you're saying no to the other paths that are before you. Making a decision is a bold course of action. It will result in a lot of learning that you can leverage later on as you move forward. And like I mentioned, you can always adjust. There's an author named Lisa Turkhurst who summarizes it very eloquently when she says, not making a decision is actually a decision. It is a decision to stay the same. So if you're making a decision, I hope that this has been helpful for you to consider. My name is Melissa Francisco. I am a coach with Transition Designs. I help people create their strategies so that they can navigate change and lead with clarity.